Number 5 is the standard reading question in my mind. It's a line reference question, so we can just go directly to where they tell us. Remember, we should read around where they tell us. We should use the +1 sentence rule just to make sure we get the context. It's obviously not going to be enough to just read the 2 words fruitful intermission. We need to know what they're talking about. But a sentence on either side is playing it safe. The answer might be there, it might not, but play it safe, read a little extra. And then when we do, we learn that generally speaking, this seems to have been a positive experience, which would match with the word fruitful, right? Fruitful means good. So it says that she's a woman of the world. She's gone to boarding school since she was 6 years old. She studied French in Paris and drama in London. During what she called a fruitful intermission in her formal education, she had traveled extensively in the Near East and Africa, so she's going all sorts of places with a friend of her grandmother's, one Janet Miller, who is a medical doctor from Nashville, Tennessee. After her travels with Dr. Miller, Miss Spivey continued her education by attending Barnard College. So everything about this seems positive. I don't see anything negative mixed in these lines. So let's look at the choices then. Why did she use this phrase? She benefited from taking time off from her studies in order to travel. Well, benefited certainly matches with the positive connotation, so that's a pretty good sign. She took time off from her studies because she took an intermission in her education and traveled. So that matches as well. And yeah, she traveled. So everything seems good about this. But remember, with process of elimination, it's not enough to just find the choice that feels right to us, because sometimes our instincts can lead us astray. So the smart, safe move here is to go through B, C, and D and make sure we understand why those are wrong. If we can prove them wrong, we'll be much more confident in choice A. So in this case, it says B, her travels with Janet Miller encouraged her to start medical school. Well, they definitely talked about medical school, right? That's right here in line 29. But be careful here. Choice B is saying something that line 29 is not. Line 29 is saying that Janet Miller was in medical school. But choice B is saying that Miss Spivey went to medical school. So they're flipping the person here. So she's not starting medical school. That's not part of this. It doesn't say when she goes to Barnard that she is in medical school. So we cannot make that assumption. Choice C, her early years at boarding school resulted in unanticipated rewards. Well, there's a strong word here that we need to make sure we follow. Unanticipated means it was a surprise. So we would need to prove with the lines that this was an unanticipated reward. It was definitely a reward, but unanticipated is not just some extra word. It needs proof here. And I don't see any words that suggest surprise, something that was unexpected. So that one word is enough to make this entire choice wrong. That's why strong words are so helpful. We normally might blow past them, but when we see them, we now need to test them, and it gives us a reason to kind of examine a choice a little bit more closely. Choice D, what she thought would be a short break from school lasted several years. Well, okay, it seems like it was several years. That part checks out. But what she thought, this is also kind of a strong word. It's a phrase in this case that carries a lot of meaning. What she thought was going to happen needs to be said in the lines. Now it says that she was studying, and then it says she was traveling. And it says that she took an intermission, a fruitful intermission from the studying to do the traveling. But at no point does it say that she guessed that it would take a certain amount of time, but that it actually took a different amount. So this strong phrase also is too far. It's not said in the lines. And generally speaking, that's why strong choices that say a lot of stuff are going to tend to be wrong on the SAT because we can't prove that stuff right. Whereas weaker choices, just like saying that she generally benefited, well, that's easier to prove. There's a lot of positive words. It says that it was a good experience. So that's easier for us, and generally I also would say that choice A is weaker. So if you're stuck between choices, look for things that make one choice strong or another choice weak. One choice that says a lot of stuff versus another choice that kind of is more vague and doesn't say as much. Weaker choices tend to be right.